gonna have to do like a different intro. You can't do the boy Ryan's channel intro because it's not.
I have just the thing. Hello and welcome to the Farlands or Cancelled podcast. This is a podcast that I've been wanting to do for a while. Actually, I can't remember when I came up with the idea, but I just thought walking to the Farlands in a podcast is genius, you know. And it's based off, it's kind of a spin on the Kurt J. Mac Farlands or Bust, where he either gets to the Farlands or busted. But instead, we're either going to get to the Farlands or get cancelled, because, I say some pretty outrageous shit, and you're Australian.
And I listen.
Yeah.
I'm just a bystander to the outrageous shit you say.
You're definitely bi. Anyway, let's start walking. This is the Back to Beta seed we're doing, and this is just going to be background footage while we talk about Jack Black.
All right, and we're off.
I'm
Boxplayer, by the way. I'm the co-host of this series.
Oh yeah, I probably should have said that. I probably should. Imagine if we got guests and it's just like, hey, I just start fucking talking about random shit, and meanwhile we have like Stampy in the corner going, I'm Stampy, by the way.
I'm also here, by the way. Yeah,
like right at the end.
The guest. We have a guest on, but just completely ignore them.
That's probably for the best, to be honest. Some of them are good shit. But yeah, we would like guests on this. So if you're a Minecraft YouTuber and not a pedophile, hit us up.
Although it could be interesting if you are a pedophile, because like it's kind of like, how does that work? It's a complicated that's a profession to be in when you're you're doing that.
That's a really good point, actually, because there's a lot of Minecraft pedophiles, and I would quite like to get Lion Maker on. He's still around. He's not in jail. He could be out there fucking kids. So I think we would be doing a service to the world if we just distracted him for about an hour with this podcast. That's like saving maybe 15 children. So Lion Maker, Lion Maker, if you are out there, let us hit us up. Because I feel like the podcast would end pretty soon. I feel like we would get cancelled if we had a Lion Maker around.
Look, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job now to potentially, we're on our way to getting cancelled. So,
well, that's the plan.
I think we're starting off well. So
yeah. Now, I don't really know what to talk about. I got like some ideas. I mean, I have like a rant I can go on. I also have like, I mean, I've been working on a video. By the time this goes out, the video might be out, and it's about Gerg, that pig guy.
Yeah. Gurg is all the rage in the beta Minecraft community right now, or the Golden Age Minecraft community right now.
Yeah,
he's just a controversial figure, man.
He is, and I've been making a video on it. It's basically like going over his video he did on Sipover's video. And when I started the video, I was like, man, I fucking hate this guy. This guy sucks. But by the end of the video, I just stopped caring. I don't even hate Gerg anymore. Like, he's fine. His Sipover video has like some really stupid points not even stupid points. He just gets information wrong. He blatantly lies about videos he watched. He puts loads of them on the screen saying this is nostalgia bait. So in the video, I go through each and every one, and none of them are nostalgia bait at all. But he does have some good points.
Break down the videos that he was critiquing.
Yeah. One of them's Dialco's, and literally 12 seconds into the video, Dialco says, "This isn't." This isn't. This isn't. He doesn't say that.
Eat a fly or whatever. What the
hell? No, he doesn't say that. He says, "This isn't a video shitting on modern Minecraft. I don't dislike modern Minecraft." Yeah, Gerg clearly didn't watch it, and that was a massive point I had against him. Another one is he did just blatantly lie about being banned from the Golden Age subreddit.
He did. I feel like when in general, I feel like I can be pretty out of touch with the goings on of the Golden Age community. Like, I try my best to keep up, but sometimes I'm like a little out of touch. I can't keep up with all the Discord chats and things like that. But I have heard a lot about this, especially him being like not banned. I've seen on the subreddit, I've seen in our Discord and all that. So yeah, it's pretty that is a objectively really stupid thing to do. Like, I don't understand how he could, what kind of person do you have to be to lie about that and put it in your video so confidently and say it over and over again. Like, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
Like,
it's weird because the video for a lot of like the recent video he made, you know, at the time of this recording is like he does actually make like a lot of points that
Yeah,
like a lot of us agree with,
I
you
agree
know,
with
like
him
in
on
terms
that.
of the textures and things like that. But like he just goes about it the worst possible way.
If he didn't do
Like, I
that
don't
beginning
understand.
section where he like blatantly lies about being banned from a subreddit, then that video is pretty good. I actually
Yeah.
agree with like basically every point in it. And what's weird is, whilst watching the one he did on Sipover, despite the fact he doesn't like old Minecraft, I don't think he ever explicitly shits on it to say. He just prefers the modern game.
He just prefers the modern game. I mean, yeah, he doesn't. I've seen worse videos talking about like how they hate, you know, well, not that they hate like old Minecraft, but they're like they just don't understand why anyone would like old
Fuck me.
Minecraft over new, you know. But like he doesn't explicitly say that. I feel like
No, he just that video makes it look like he's shitting on old Minecraft because he's shitting on Sipover's fucking awful video about why Sipover apparently likes old Minecraft. Which, by the way, I don't believe Sipover likes old Minecraft because his points are fucking stupid. I think he just noticed the trend.
Of the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. I think he noticed the trend and was like, right, I'm going to make a video about old Minecraft, and then just like came up with the most stupid fucking points. Like one of the points was that like modern Minecraft has too much stuff that distracts you. And he talks about it like my granddad does TikTok, as if the like shit comes on the screen and you just can't focus. And like
you can't, like you have no control over it. It's like you have control over whether you want to do those things or not. Like
exactly. It's it was his. That's the problem with me making the video on Gurg, is I realized that Sipover is the real problem and the real fucking idiot. Like Gurg. He lied, right? He lied about being banned from a subreddit, but like...
And he's generally obnoxious and a bit annoying.
He is obnoxious and annoying, but I think that's a character. I reckon he isn't like that in real life. I can't tell,
like
but
that,
I don't think he is.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't know, but I have to say the character is pretty hard to bear. Like I can't bear watching it sometimes. Like
it is pretty annoying.
I have to say though, like in the new video as well, I do agree with the fact that like there was I think he made a point about being not like about being like an edgy YouTuber and, you know, still swearing and still like, you know, making dark jokes and stuff, as opposed to people who don't do that, you know, like as opposed to the people on Hermitcraft and things like that. And I was like, okay, well, you know, we can kind of relate to that a little bit, you know, like you know.
I started feeling bad by the end of my video on him because I was pretty harsh. I think in like the first minute I called him cancer, which by the end I actually didn't. I feel like if I met Gerg in real life, I'd probably get along with him because we have a lot of same like opinions on the game. We like different versions, but I do agree with a lot of the things he says about modern and even beta. And he's an asshole. He's British. And he's not scared to say random shit like I am. So, you know, like that. I feel like we would actually get along. See, I did make that video on him, and it's clear he's willing to lie to his audience, and that whole like Reddit thing was just fucking dumb.
And that's the thing, though. Like, you see this on the internet all the time. Like when people like that lie to their audience, like say something so blatant like that, like it makes our community look bad, and it's just not like, it's just not true. And that, and like, that is just, it's like unnecessarily making us look bad, which like isn't very fair, I feel like. Which it just kind of sucks.
It's
like, because no one from his community is probably going to do any research into that, you know, or see any of the messages of us being like, hey, he actually lied about that.
Oh, absolutely fucking not. No, they're gonna assume that all these old Minecraft, like this whole old Minecraft community banned Gurg for no fucking reason. Which just isn't true. I kind of get why he did it. He claims that it was just a joke. Now I don't know what the punchline of I was banned is.
Yeah, and it doesn't come off as a joke at all. Like that's the thing. It doesn't come off as a joke at all.
And I kind of get why he did it. He wanted like some kind of like thread through the whole video that loops it around. But I just think there's better ways to do that than just lying about getting kicked from a fucking subreddit. Now, it isn't the biggest deal in the world. Like, there's a lot worse YouTubers out there who do a lot worse shit, but it is a point against him.
For
Yeah,
sure.
so I've done a video on Gurg. I don't know when I'm going to upload it. It's probably already out by the time
Yeah, it's
everyone sees
probably
this
already
shit.
out by now. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, it is pretty funny, but yeah, I just started to realize that, like, I don't even fucking hate this guy. It's like I started to like, I was like, why am I making this shit? Like, I don't even
But here's
fucking
the thing as
care.
well. Here's the thing as well, though, right? Because like, then there's also people in our community that are probably like not very knowledgeable on the whole situation as well, and probably
Hmm.
don't know him at all. Like, obviously don't know him at all, right? And like, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, this guy must be the worst as well." And it's like, well, maybe not. Who knows? You know?
Yeah, they
Uh,
clearly didn't watch his video. Or maybe they did, and
yeah.
they just right. Yeah, there is a lot of people in the old Minecraft community who are pretty fucking stupid.
Like
Like,
they like I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of people in our community that would like jump on the hate wagon, you know, be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he lied about this or said this." It's like, yeah, that's like objectively shit, but it's also like you don't have to continue the hate train. You can just be
no,
like,
no,
"Okay, I
no.
don't really like him. I'm just going to, ignore him or whatever." Like, yeah.
There's
Although,
some yeah.
I was going to say, although that being said, any publicity is good publicity in my mind, you know.
That's got to be Gerg's motto. I feel like he definitely stirs this shit up for some
He has
attention.
to. He
Yeah,
has to stir it up for attention for
100%.
sure.
It's got to
There's
be
no
what
way he
happens.
does it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
there is some dumb people in the community because under those Reddit posts talking about Gerg, there was some people that like there's things Gerg's done wrong and there's things Gerg should get criticized for, but then there was people trying to fucking say he's a bad person or he's racist because of like edgy jokes he made, and those people are
Yeah.
fucking stupid. Like they're generally like I don't think he's racist.
You can't, yeah, like you can't draw those lines. That's the thing. I hate that just in general society as well. Like it's kind of like that whole thing where it's like, I mean, I think it's probably most prevalent in America and like most exaggerated in America, like the left and right wing thing. Like if you say you're one or the other, automatically you're an extremist of one or the
1000%.
other,
It's
which
such
is
an
like,
American
which is
issue.
like, which doesn't make any sense. It's like, I can be somewhere in the middle but lean one way, you know.
Right, right.
And that's the annoying thing. It's yeah, and I feel like that's something that happens everywhere.
And
But obviously,
that's
an extreme example is politics in America. But
that's why I hate that internet culture is American culture. Like the whole world kind of has that stupid brain dead American culture in it because that's kind of what online is. Like all the websites do that.
yeah,
Like we just kind of took their shitty like views on, and the world isn't as black and white as a lot of Americans think.
I think honestly, the internet has exaggerated it a bit. You know, like exaggerated that kind of problem a bit. Like I don't think that necessarily existed. It existed, but I don't think it was as bad or like I don't know. I don't think it was as bad before the internet. You know, the internet
Yeah,
made it
yeah.
so much more easy to be radical online and be misunderstood online as well. I think that's probably the biggest one. Is like when you're face to face with someone, your views can be like pretty easily understood based on your like demeanor and your expression and stuff. Whereas online, like what you write down, even if it's a joke, like can be read in completely different way to the way you meant it, right?
Exactly.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's something that like the internet probably
I feel like
didn't have going for it.
I mean I feel like I probably said this before, but I feel like there's always assumes like really evil intent behind things people say, and that's just not the case
Definitely.
all the time. But like online, if you say one wrong thing, they assume that like you're actually a fucking neo-Nazi and you planned all this out to like hate on the Jews, and it's just
Literally.
that's not the fucking case. But
Yeah.
speaking of being misunderstood online, this is probably gonna be a rant. Maybe we can make this
I'm okay with that. Put it in.
maybe this can be a segment on every podcast, like
Ryan's rants.
It's about
Ryan's rants.
Reddit, and I think but yeah, Ryan's Reddit rants. Maybe each week I can find like some stupid
R.
fucking. It's better than the triple K. I feel like it would be a good segment if I just find the dumbest thing on Reddit and just rant about it. But this time, this week, I kind of want to talk about how everyone on the r/Minecraft subreddit is a fucking imbecile. And if I was in charge of the world, I would totally tariff their SSRIs. They are the dumbest people on the planet. And I know we're probably like alienating potential viewers right now. but
Yeah,
fuck
our demographic of Minecraft is cooked because you're just telling every single viewer that they're an idiot.
Okay, not all of them are idiots, but I'd say about 99% of them are, because about maybe a week ago, I got really pissed off at this, by the way, and like I usually don't genuinely get pissed off at dumb shit on Reddit, but this one did. About a week ago, there was like a post on there talking about one of Notch's recent tweets, and that isn't even what pissed me off. Like Notch said some random dumb shit about the splash text saying like educate your friends on being racist, which is a dumb splash text in the first place. Maybe stick that in education edition or something, not the fucking main game. But in the comments, right, there was about like 15 people, I want to say, all trying to discredit Notch as the creator and creative genius behind Minecraft, and I thought that was fucking ridiculous. One guy said that Notch didn't really add much to the game, and Jeb is the real creative genius, and that really ticked me out.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like those are people who don't know the history clearly.
Yeah, like, right. And fuck me.
And I think that's that's obviously come from Mojang and their whole let's pretend Notch doesn't even exist.
right. And all they know is fucking Jeb. And oh my god, the fucking people. I ended up defending bold fat Notch, right? Oh, we would like you, if you're listening, I would love to interview Notch, by the way.
Notch, we would absolutely love for you to come on.
I didn't call you fat and bold.
Podcast, come on, back to beta. Shout out to back to beta server, by the way.
On my face. But yeah, right. There was one dickhead that was trying to claim that if Notch didn't make Minecraft, a game like Minecraft would have been made no matter what, because Terraria existed. Now, first of all, Terraria came out after Minecraft. Minecraft may have released in 2011, but it was a thing since 2009. So that's number one.
Wasn't Terraria like inspired?
Exactly. That's one of the next points.
Oh, that was your next points. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if Minecraft didn't exist, I don't think Terraria would exist in the way it ended up being, because they are very similar.
No, I don't think so.
And even if it did exist, it was Minecraft that popularized that kind of genre. And I would say that most of the people who played Terraria also played Minecraft, and played Minecraft first, and only knew of Terraria because it was a little like Minecraft. So I don't think Terraria would have been as big without Minecraft. And then the third point is, you don't fucking know that. You don't know that if Notch didn't make Minecraft, someone else would. Like, we can't argue that. All we know for sure is that Notch did make Minecraft, and he sold it. That's all we know. We can't argue, well, in a different universe, that bold racist, if he didn't make the game, Minecraft would be around and we'd still be having this conversation. Like, no, shut the fuck up, moron. Like, that's not the case.
No way. And the thing is as well, like, there's so many different things. Even besides that, like, what if Notch had, like, let's face it, if Notch had some thicker skin when it came to people like asking for things and berating him online, like when it came to Minecraft, like the game, like, and he stayed developing it, like the game would have turned out completely different and like who people might be more on the side of Notch than they are now, or or that they're not now. It's so hard. You can't say that stuff like that just because, like, in your head canon you want it to be true or anything like that. Like, the facts are the facts. History happened. You can't just pretend it didn't exist.
You can't rewrite it
you want it to, right?
Because you disagree with Notch and his tweets.
Exactly.
And I think Notch is actually heavily misunderstood. He's always been a little awkward and bad at wording things because he's Swedish.
Have you ever seen an interview with the guy?
Exactly. Oh my fucking god! It's the most embarrassing shit. Every interview I've seen of him, it's just awkward. There's like 15-minute awkward silences.
Yeah. And that's like and that's not against him, right? Like,
no.
Like, I'm awkward when it comes to like speaking like in public and stuff like that. I even speaking in like a camera setting like this, like, used to be really awkward. It takes practice, right?
It does.
Not everyone's just naturally good at it, especially someone who is a nerdy game developer like he was, right? Like, I think I can kind of agree, like, he said some like strange and controversial things, but like, I don't know.
Like, I just don't care about what he said.
I don't think that encapsulates
him as a whole
character, right?
No.
This is a strange thing. This is a little side tangent, but it's kind of related. Like, Kanye West,
Mm-hmm.
like people are still a fan of that guy, and he said some way worse stuff.
Oh, he is
and
like
done way
he's
worse
like a
stuff.
skinnier Black Notch, according to these people.
He's got like but people still kind of listen to his music and stuff. Like they don't boycott him and stuff. And he said much worse stuff. You know, they don't pretend he doesn't exist or anything like that. Like I don't know. Take with that what you will. You know, that's food for thought. I don't really have any.
You can
major
respect
more
what
points
he
than
made.
That, but...
Now, personally, I think Kanye West's
Exactly.
music kind of fucking sucks, but you can still respect what he made,
Agreed.
even if he's like gone off the rails. Put him back on the rails.
It's like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was a weird guy.
He's had a whole, like he was a super weird guy. He's had a lot of allegations against him. You know, although I don't think he's ever been convicted.
I'm pretty sure
anyway,
he was either innocent or it was like a misunderstanding. He was just a weird guy who had a kind of a bad childhood and wanted to relive it by spending time with other kids.
I think kind of a bad childhood is like the biggest understatement of all time.
Okay,
he had the worst childhood, but like you can't expect someone like that to turn out, you know, completely normal, right?
No.
And you know, and whether he did or he didn't, right? Separating the person from the work that they did is like super important in this case, right? So it's like, why can't that happen everywhere else? You know, and I think. Yeah, I think I think Notch has had it rough.
Right.
Compared to what was really done, you know.
Oh god, and even, to go back on this shit, there's this one other guy. So we had the guy talking about Terraria and all that, but then I think it might have even been the same guy. He was trying to claim that Jeb made the game what it was. I think to these people, if Notch didn't make the game, Jeb would have come along and just made Minecraft, which isn't fucking true at all.
Definitely is not true. There's no way.
I just called him Knob because it's like a mix of Jeb and Notch. I meant Notch. Right? Notch hired Jeb.
Yeah.
Jeb probably wouldn't even be anywhere really if Notch didn't hire him.
Odds are he would be a nobody, right? Like those are the odds. Like there's the odds that he makes a game that's like just as successful or anywhere near is like, you know, pretty low, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was lightning in a bottle that Notch made Minecraft. I think it was accidental creative genius, but it was still creative genius. But anyway, this fucking one guy was trying to say that because Notch only worked on the game for maybe 3 years and Jeb's worked on it for like the past 13 or something, that Jeb is actually the creator of Minecraft because he's done more. And my counter to that is the things Notch added to the game are much more important than anything Jeb has done, because Jeb wouldn't have been able to add anything without anything Notch did. 100%. Notch made the core foundations of the game.
Notch added every fundamental thing, like every core aspect of the game, and this ties in a little bit to like some of the arguments people make when it comes to like old Minecraft and new Minecraft, right? Like there is so much, like we always talk about, there's a lot of fluff in new Minecraft. There's a lot of added things which are fun, like, you know, they distract you and, you know, it's all that and the other. But
yeah, right.
The core game is like when you play like a version like beta, like it is the core game. And I think beta 1.7.3 is like the last version he solely worked on, right?
I believe so. Although I think Jeb helped out with a few things before this, but it was like mostly Notch's.
Oh,
it was Notch was like
did
8%. He did do the squid, and he fucked it up.
I think yeah, I can't exactly remember, but the point is Notch added all the most like fundamental stuff, everything that was like core to the game, and then everything since. I mean, like, I guess there was the hunger changes and the end and stuff, which, like, you know, you could argue is part of the core game.
I think even Notch did that though, right? I think.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I think Notch. The last update
sure
he ever worked on was 1.0,
right,
I think. Like and then he just handed it off to Jeb as he was still creative like lead at that point.
He was still creative lead. Yeah, it would have had to go through him, but
right. And then he just handed it to Jeb.
Yeah, but like the point is, right, like everything since then has really been like added things that do add to the game, but they're not like necessary to the game, you know? Like they don't change anything core about the game, you know. There's things like obviously the PvP community and stuff like that. There's been developments there, and Redstone and stuff. There's been developments there. Like, but in terms of like the core survival aspect of the game, like
Yeah.
it was finished. It was kind of finished.
Oh, 100%. It's a playable game.
And then everything was built off that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was all built off that, right?
And what you're saying right now, I got like 15 fucking downvotes for saying. And then the guy was responding with like, fuck, what the fuck did he say? I mean, he literally said the words, Jeb is the creative genius that made the game. So I replied, you could remove everything Jeb ever added to Minecraft, and it would still, at the core, be the exact same game and perfectly playable. In fact, it's what made it was already a popular game at that point. But if you removed everything Notch added, it doesn't even exist. So like, shut the fuck up. 100%. Like, yeah.
And the interesting thing about some like that person saying that is that like Jeb has stepped back from being the creative lead for a long while now. Like, it was Agnes. She was the creative. She's been the creative like lead for a while now. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. And for a while, it was actually Dinnerbone, like around like maybe 2014ish. Like he ended up being the creative lead. So Jeb has been around a long time, but he I don't know why they think he made the game. I think it is just Cope because they don't like Notch.
Yeah. I think so. I can kind of agree with that. And that's nothing really against Jeb. Like, I think Jeb is alright.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like he actually kind of keeps a lot of that fundamental feel of the game. Like, because obviously he's been there the longest, he knows what it was like originally.
Right.
So I feel like he kind of has a lot of that fundamental, vibes of the game down packed, which works. Like, I like that.
Yeah. I think if we lost Notch, I think if we lost Jeb, how do I confuse them? One's a skinny ginger dude, the other one's a bald fat dude. they don't even have similar names.
So similar, dude. It's like that meme with these are the same picture.
Yeah.
Will someone make that meme, please?
Yeah. Like, I feel like, what was I even fucking saying? I can't even remember what I'm saying. Now I'm just thinking about a fat bald dude.
You're saying that like Jeb. Like, if Jeb was gone, then the original, they were kind of the original duo of the game, like the development, right? I can't think of many people that were around all the way back then, in that small group when there was like 10 of them working on the game.
In a way, Notch and Jeb look like kind of a mishmash of Simon and Lewis from the Yogscast. They have like different parts of each. There's a fat bald guy, but then the other one has ginger and long hair and glasses.
They really are the dynamic duo. My first thought was
Batman and Robin?
Man and Barnacle Boy.
Oh,
Batman and Robin, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, dude. That's
that's pretty fucking but yeah, like I feel like if we lost Jeb, the core, like I feel like in a few years' time, after Jeb like leaves, the game would just start adding stupid shit that wouldn't fit at all previously. Like the whole one block at a time kind of philosophy he goes with, where there's no tools to mine like 15 blocks at once, like stuff like that. I get a feeling like eventually would just like
that would
people
start
lose
getting,
track.
like, the community would keep asking for it, and like they would start crumbling to that sort of stuff.
It would be the fucking vertical slabs or whatever.
See, the thing is they like, it's weird because Mojang, like, they listen to the community, but then they also don't, like, and they listen to the community, but they also don't think about like the things that the community don't think about, right? Like people go, oh my god, let's let's add vertical slabs, and oh no, you know what a good one is? Like the Elytra, right? Like, it's like, okay, the community is like, oh my god, we can bow boost, let's like make infinite flight, and then they're like, Mojang's like, oh my god, that, let's do it because the community's asking for it. It's like, if you thought a little, further ahead, you'd realize that was an issue, right? Like, that just nullifies every other mode of transport and stuff, which they didn't think about because, like, they're thinking about the short term. Yes, this is going to boost the game up again because at the time it was a problem, right? That's just one example. Like, I think there's probably, plenty of examples you could make, but like that's something I worry about is like, the community is like, hey, we want this, and it's like, yeah, that's great, but like sometimes having the best stuff or the like basically being in creative mode isn't the best for your experience, and then people wonder why they get bored of the game. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I
There's
don't
there's,
know.
there's two problems with Mojang. Number one is I feel like they don't have like one complete vision anymore. They don't really know where to take the game, so they're just like schizo posting random shit. Oh, apparently schizo is like offensive to people with schizophrenia. Oh, fuck you. And
Cancel us. You wouldn't do, you
yeah,
wouldn't do it,
that's
waste
the
it.
point of the fucking show. And the other one is, with most game devs and stuff, I actually like it when they don't listen to the community, because there's been countless examples of devs listening to a community and the game gets fucking ruined. Like Halo,
Yeah.
for instance, like Halo 4 and stuff. Like they tried to get like the Call of Duty fan base by adding loads of shit to Halo that didn't belong, and then the game sucked and it's never recovered since. So I actually prefer it when it's a creator's vision, and anyone else is just like go fuck yourself. Like the community, like they can have suggestions and some of them can be good, but it's at the end of the day it's up to the devs to do it, and like they actually have a vision for the game, and it's not based on what the community wants. I feel like Mojang kind of like they do a bit of both, and it makes it messy.
Yeah, I think the problem that Mojang really has right now is that like they like everything. There is nothing more to add. Like I don't. It's really hard to come up with a new thing to add to Minecraft that is like a revolutionary core thing of the game. You've got redstone, you've got PvP, you've got the building, you've got this, that, the other, right? You've got these different aspects of the game that are just core parts of the game, and it's really hard to add something new and fresh like that. So they end up just adding more and more blocks and more
Yes,
mobs and more like fluff things like that.
Things they don't really have to think about too much, because it doesn't change the gameplay at all. Like not really that much. Like a mob, like it just stands around, and a block that has no real purpose. It's easy.
Yeah, but the thing is, like they can add to redstone. Like the LA. Like I'm not a big fan of the LA. That could be for another time. But like. I can still agree that it has some use in redstone and things like that. Like it can be used in that sort of thing, but it's not necessary, right?
No,
like it's not 100% necessary. Like the crafter, like it makes things super quick to craft, but you could still sit there and craft, right?
You can live without
it. Doesn't change. Yeah, you could live without it, exactly. So it's like that's kind of what everything like that they're adding now. The only different thing, I guess, would be when it comes to like things like the Nether update, where they completely overhauled an existing an existing place. Like the Nether, obviously, hugely game changing when it came out, right? But even then, they're kind of just giving it a facelift. They didn't really change much about the Nether. They changed it when it came to like speedrunning, I guess. With the mobs and stuff they added there. Like they did change things, but
they haven't. There's nothing as like, I don't think anything as big as say like Redstone will ever make it into the game again.
I don't
like
think
nothing as game changing as that. And honestly, you said like they never changed the game. When it was first started, I think they never fucking sucks. Like it looked really nice, and it did kind of change the game, but like a lot of it didn't really do anything new other than add a new dimension.
The biggest thing when I say it changed the game, the biggest thing I'm talking about is the fact that it made one block in the Nether as 8 blocks in the overworld. So like it added that kind of fast travel mechanic, right? Which there's not much else that does that apart from like when they added Elytra. Like
okay, I can see that. Yeah, because otherwise like the Nether
it's an interesting discussion. Like it's the thing. I guess like the Nether update, like it added more steps to complete when it came to like getting armor and changed the way the progression worked when it came to beating the game. Which like it does add more to the game. But I think we can all agree that the Nether update has probably been the best of the modern updates.
I like the buy-ins.
I think a lot of people can agree that that's the thing. Like, I think it changed the gameplay well enough, but didn't like. Obviously, it can't change the core gameplay, but it added a good progression to the game. that I think most people enjoyed. But like, when you think of the Tricky Trials update, which is the one with the trial chambers, like it just added something to do, right? It added more to do in the game, added items and stuff that, basically a quest you could go on. It's like adding a quest. But it didn't change anything else, fundamentally to the game.
No. I feel like the one thing they could do that totally changes the game is a new dimension where the laws of physics are different. Like say
That would
the
be
Aether.
interesting.
There's a few cool things in the Aether where some blocks are like gravel where they fold, but instead they go into the sky. So you place them and they fly up.
They go up.
Like stuff like that would be pretty interesting for them to add.
And I think what would be interesting when it came to like something like, for example, the Aether, like, there's that the block that pushes things, the flying block or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like you add a dimension where stuff like that is possible, but don't bring it to the overworld. Like, don't bring it to the normal world, right? Like, it's a dimension where things are completely different. Like, that would change the game, because then, like, you're going to a place where you're changing your play style. You have to play differently, and like, I think that would be a way for them to really play around with a new way to develop the game.
I agree.
Without actually having to create like a Minecraft 2, like, obviously that's been thrown around, which is stupid, but.
And that's the great thing about the Aether, is that mod is like starting the game again. The tools from the overworld don't work as well in the Aether. You have to make brand new ones. Like the wooden Aether tools are better than the than the diamond overworld tools and stuff like that. It's like a level 2 of the game, and things are a little different.
Exactly.
I think that would be really cool if they added that.
I agree.
That's the only really way I can see it doing anything new.
And I do think that they will add a new dimension. There's no doubt about it. They will do that at some point.
20 years
in my mind. Like to me, there's no way they don't do that. Especially with like the ancient city or whatever, where it's like they literally named the structure at the center of the city like a portal. Like it's in the files, it's called a portal of some sort. Like there's no way they don't add one, right?
I think they will. Honestly, before they add a new one,
depends
though,
what they do with it,
Yeah, before they add a new one, they really got to work on the fucking end. Like adding another dimension while that place still fucking sucks after. I mean, it's been in the game for like 14 years. It's awful.
I don't understand why during 1.9 they didn't make the End Islands. When they added the End Islands, who thought it was a good idea to make them just all completely flat? Like that was why was there no elevation with the stones or anything like that? Like that didn't make any sense to me. That is like the bare minimum thing they need to do. Something about the end, like an end update that I see thrown around all the time which is like related to the Nether update, is like basically doing what they did with the Nether update, where it went from hell, where it's like, void of life except for the zombie pigmen and the ghast,
right.
to, there's trees and there's like these striders and there's fungus and things that survive there. It went from a place where like nothing could survive. When you walked in there, you're like, nothing survives here.
It was empty and
to a place where it's like, oh, it's full of life. Like. I think even less would I want that for the end.
Yeah, I don't want that for the end at all.
Like I've seen so many people being like, "Oh, look at these! What if we made like almost like Avatar, where it's like giant trees that glow and
end bunnies that jump around and fly? You can roll around in the fields of Ender wheat. Like, no, I don't want that. I like that it's empty. I just wish.
Yeah, I think they could be very creative with it when it comes to like almost the lore of the Enderman, or like I can see them adding like ruins and things in that place, like end ruins and stuff of like old civilization or something, like it was like a a world that blew up or something. I don't know.
right. Yeah,
but like I don't see that. I just don't understand why they would add life. Like the chorus fruit, I'm kind of okay with. Maybe it's just because it's like always
it's a weird alien and stuff. It's fine.
It's like a weird alien fruit, but like I feel like the fact that it's like the only thing that's there, it's like, and you can like in your head logically tie it to the Enderman. Like I don't know. I feel like that's cool, but
Yeah, there's that theory
I made a
that
video. I
like,
made a video about like theories on it, but
oh, did you? Yeah, I know there is that
on like
theory
Enderman and stuff.
of like the player, like people like the player go into the end, ate chorus fruit and transformed into Enderman. I think that's a good theory.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a cool theory as well. Yeah.
But my idea for the end is, do you know how we're walking to the Farlands right now? And the terrain gets weirder and weirder as we get there and stuff. Like it's, I think with the end, they shouldn't really add stupid, like boring new biomes where they just change the color of the grass or whatever. They should add, they should make it so the more you travel out in the end, the more fucked up and like wacky the end island terrain gets. I think that would be a really interesting way of doing it.
Cool idea.
Yeah,
that is a cool idea, and then it's like kind of a nod to the old terrain.
Right, because they've removed the Farlands. Cool if you add the Farlands to the end in like a way where it's gradual, so the further out you get, the more fucked up the islands get and just weird shit and all that. I think that would be really cool. And even if it's buggy, even if you travel out in the end and blocks are floating and falling and you fall through blocks and shit, I actually think that fits the the way the end works.
That's the one place.
It's like it's corrupted void and shit. It like works, you know. Like the blocks being like the outline being misplaced and stuff. I think that would work really well in the end, because the people aren't really going to go that far unless they want to. So
unless they want to see it,
I think it'd be really cool if they did that. And I don't know, maybe things can spawn quite far out that's like interesting or something. I don't know.
Well, here's something that I've just sort of thought about is like, I know that there's like Enderman variants in like things like dungeons and stuff, and like generally I don't know, generally I'm kind of opposed to variations. I don't know if that's even true. I probably wouldn't like variations on the Enderman because like I think it's kind of like ideal how it is. But I don't know. The more I think about my thought, the more I'm like trying to articulate my thought, the more I'm like, wait, I don't know if I agree. Because like when it comes to like sheep variants, actually this is not true. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Here's what I'm trying to say. So when it came to like the sheep, cow, and chicken variants that they put out, the pig, cow, and chicken variants they put out, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of just a reskin of the same mob. What I am a fan of is a different version of that mob. So,
like the stray.
Like the stray and like
husk?
Because the stray has the husk, but the one I'm thinking most about is like the cow and the mushroom. Right?
Oh yeah.
I think that's like the best and most Minecrafty kind of way to do it, right? Is to have variation of like the same mob, but like in a more creative way than just reskinning it, right?
Yeah.
And that like I would be okay with that, I guess. And I think that would be cool in the end, is having like maybe different variations of the Enderman, but like not just not just reskins, but different variations. I think golems are like one of my favorite kind of parts of mobs. Like I like the idea of being able to craft your own friends, you know.
I bet you do.
Just like real life. No, but I like the idea that you can like make them, right, and that they're like unique and interesting. I wish there were more golems. I was pretty cut about like the copper golem and the
these mob votes
and the tough golem, right? Like,
and even the piss cow.
Yeah, even the moobloom, right? Like I feel like those are the examples of like good variation that I like. But they don't seem to be doing that. They seem to just be like reskinning stuff, which is like
There is something I want to talk about again. Okay, go on.
Right,
go on.
I was just gonna say. Point is like tying it back into the end. Like, I think that would be interesting. You know, maybe it's like different parts of the end that you go to, like have the different variations of the Enderman. You know, like, and maybe there's a reason for it, right? Maybe the way the terrain generates in a certain spot dictates what the Endermen look like. You know, like
not only the terrain gets weirder as it goes along, but the Endermen do, and maybe as the terrain gets more wacky, the Endermen get taller and stuff. Little things like that would be cool. I have so many things I want to say. Cool. The first one is I really like. I don't actually know how I feel about this, but I really like it. I think there's a resource pack that does it, but the Enderman's eye color changes depending which dimension it's in. So in the Nether it would have red eyes, in the Overworld it will have the green ones, and then in the end it has purple. I kind of like that because I really like the green eyes of the Enderman. The other thing I wanted to say is kind of off topic because we mentioned mob votes. The glow squid, right? I actually voted for the glow squid. In fact, most of the mobs that have won,
cancelled.
I think most of the mobs that have won, I actually voted for. I did vote for the Phantom.
Really?
I did, and the reason why I voted for the Phantom was because I wanted a flying mob, but I didn't realize how annoying and shit it would be. I actually think the Phantom would have been good, but they implemented it horribly.
They implement it really bad. They should change it. I don't understand why they don't change it, because the community hates it. They hate it.
It's so fucking shit.
You can change it, guys. You can change it. It's okay.
This might be a hot take as well. I actually kind of liked it when it was in the end. I just didn't like it when it was in the end island with the dragon. If it was like further out and it didn't spawn constantly, I think maybe it starts spawning once you've been in the end for 3 days, or something. I actually quite like that, because they feel like they fit the end, and it makes traveling it a little harder. I feel like that would be a nice way of doing it.
Especially the fact that they're related to like the elytra.
True. Yes. Yeah.
And like fix the elytra, and the elytra is found in the end. Like,
I think that would be pretty cool.
It seems like it adds up to me.
Yeah. Right.
Your point on the Enderman's eyes. I agree. Like, I think it makes sense. I like the theory that it's like, the dragon is kind of like possessing the Enderman in the end, and that's why the eyes are purple. Like, it's kind of possessing them. And I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool that if you like killed at the very least, if you killed the Ender Dragon, that the Enderman would all go back to having like the green eyes.
That is such a good idea.
That feels like
actually.
the natural state of them, right?
That's a great idea.
I made a video about that. That whole I made a video.
I think I did watch that like a while ago, but yeah.
It was a long time ago, but like that's like the gist of the idea, right? And I think that's a cool idea. But I do kind of agree with your idea that like it would be kind of cool to have them have that variation, even in the Nether, like have red eyes. Like, that's kind of a cool idea,
right?
As well.
Yeah. I quite like both of them.
When it comes to like the mob votes, like I'm not going to go through all of them. Maybe that's another topic for another day. But
I can't even remember them all.
Like, I was saying like the Phantom train. Like, at the time, people now are like, "Wow, how could you have voted for the Phantom?" It's like, you don't. If you weren't there, you weren't there. You don't get it, right? Everyone was pretty hyped about that. There's a reason it won.
They made it sound cool. Right? They made it sound cool as fuck. It's not our fault. Yeah. They implemented it horribly. Like exactly. I knew what the problem was. They gave us nothing to work with. I liked the idea that it would make sleeping less of a fucking like meta on the game and stuff. Like, I liked that, but they just did it in an annoying way.
Well, no, the sleeping. Well, it was the exact opposite of what you would want, right?
Like, right, and that's not what they promised.
It encourages you to sleep. It doesn't. It basically forces you to sleep. You can't have a peaceful night building, at nighttime, because they're just going to knock you off your tower or whatever. It doesn't make the game any more challenging. It makes it annoying, right? Like, it's just, there's no way to prevent them. Like, you can't prepare to prevent them or anything like that. I guess you can shoot them with bows, but like, that's kind of lame and boring, right?
What's the song? They just don't. They start coming, they won't stop coming. So anyway, something's get hit by a phantom and hit the ground building or something. The phantoms were added horribly, but when they did the sales pitch, it was pretty good. I feel like I got scammed. What a fucking scam. But I think I was going to talk about the glow squid, right? Because I did vote for the glow squid, and the first reason why
that is your craziest opinion. I don't know how you did that, but
well, because I thought that they would do dynamic light with it, and I thought that would make for really cool, like, not only like fish tanks, but you could also do some cool shit building if you had the ability to have dynamic lights with the glow squid. But they didn't do that. Yeah. And also they kind of fucking useless. And that what's it called? Like the glow ink sacks.
The glow ink that makes like the signs glow and the like portraits.
That's like fine, but it's not worth adding a new mob to me.
Crazy. It's not
I think not only could Glowstone have done that anyway, like they could have just 100%. Get that fidget the Glowstone dust. But I also think you could actually make it better. I think if you should be able to apply the glow ink sacks to armor trims and have the armor trims glow on your armor. I think they should really do that.
I've actually never heard that idea. That's actually a really cool idea.
I've been wanting it for ages. I saw someone make a resource pack of glowing armor trims. I was like, damn, why didn't he add this to the game and make it craftable? It was so fucking good. And actually add more, like a more wanted purpose for the fucking thing.
Definitely. That's actually such a good point. I never even thought about that. That's actually a really
Hmm.
cool idea.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that idea.
I wonder with this new vibrant visuals that they're coming out with. You know, the one like how they're making it so that
The game
how
looks
the
better.
game looks different and
Right, right.
yeah. Um, like I wonder if they will do something with the glow squid like that. You know, they'll make the glow squid glow, or
I hope
you know,
so.
potentially do that with the armor and the trims. Like I wonder
That's
if that
that's a good
they
point.
do
I
that.
think I reckon they've got to do that, right? Surely, because all
They've
the
got to.
they're
They've got
going based on
when they
shaders, and
come
the
across
shaders
stuff
do
like
that.
that. Exactly. When they come across stuff like that, surely they're going to think about it and be like, actually, maybe the squid should glow.
Like
What
I
were
don't
the
like. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to ask what were the mobs that year? I remember. I feel like
That
the
was
glow
the
squid
piss
was the worst
cow
one.
one.
Was that the
Right?
yeah? Was that the moob? It was the moobloom, the isolager, and the glow squid. The glow squid was easily the worst one there.
No, I think
The
I dislike
same
the isology more. I think because I just hate all those
really
assholes. Yeah, maybe I'm a little
the
racist towards the villager kind, but I don't like the pillagers. I don't like the villagers. I hate all of those things. I
yeah, that's
don't like
fair.
intelligent-ish life in the Minecraft world. I think that's stupid. Other than
That's fair
golems,
enough.
like I feel like you have to build them. I like just animals and monsters. I don't like
I like the
I don't
way
like
I
villagers.
like the way they tie I like the way they tie into golems.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not the point I'm trying to make. The like for me personally, like that vote as well as the one that added the delay, like to me it was so like dead obvious which was like the worst one, and the worst one was the one that got in my opinion.
I
I don't know,
think
that frustrated
What was
frustrated me a lot.
what
But
was the ones with the LA? Because I think the LA was the only mob vote where the one I voted for didn't win. I did not vote for the
that
LA, but I
dude,
can't remember what
it
the other
was
ones were.
the copper golem was obviously the best one. The copper golem. There was the copper golem, the glare, and the LA. I'm pretty sure.
I
The
think I
glare was obviously like kind of meh, but like the copper golem, like it had so much character, and that was the thing. Like so many people were like, "Oh, it has no use. It has no use," and it's like, you know, not everything has to have a use. Like some of the best mobs in the game don't really have a use. You know, like
to
I
me it
don't know.
has
It's
more of a
just
use than the LA does for
it has
me.
for me the biggest thing is that it had so much character, and that's something people complain about a lot about Minecraft is like it
Hmm.
doesn't have much life. You know, like you have to do a lot to bring life into the game. It takes a lot of work to bring life into the game, but like you place down an iron golem, like it instantly adds a bit more life.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
copper golem was that, but with so much more personality. Like the
yeah.
iron
Yeah.
golem just walks around. He doesn't have much personality. He's a guard. He's a protect,
The
right?
Copper
But
Golem was like
the copper
R2D2.
golem had exactly, and I just it was a no brainer. And something that frustrated me was like the Tricky Trials update came out, and they've gone on record saying, hey, we're going to add them if it makes sense to add the mobs that lost, right?
Yeah,
They've gone back on their opinion to like never bring them back.
that's
The
so
Tricky
dumb.
Trials update was literally copper and tough. They could have added both of those golems. Everyone would have been happy about it, but they didn't. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
looking
it doesn't
there's.
make me
Do you know
sad.
that? Right. Well, first of all, right, with the LA one, is that the only other mobs, the glare and the copper golem? Because I do not remember which one I voted for, but I feel like I probably voted for copper golem mainly purely just because it would have added more uses for fucking copper. I feel like that is what I voted
And
for.
and and as well, I'm sure you. I don't know if you know this, but the copper golem, like over time, the same as like the copper, like it oxidizes,
Oh
and
damn, that's cool as fuck.
and it became a statue. Like
Oh shit, yeah,
if it became like fully oxidized, it became a statue and just stood still, which is like awesome.
that's a
And that was
great
the same
idea.
with like that was the same with the tough golem. Like it would pick up your stuff and hold it and be a statue and then walk
Hmm.
around. Like this is another thing. It's like everyone was like, oh, the tough golem, it doesn't add anything. It's like it's a glorified item frame. I'm like, yeah, but when you think about like adding life to Minecraft, it's like you create this tough golem, you give it an item to hold, you put it in your house, you leave your house, you come back, and it's in a different spot. It's
Hmm.
like walking around your house and like it's in a different spot. It's moved around. It's like got life in it. That adds life to build because like
Yeah,
things are changing around you. But it's like so unimpactful. Like I don't know. It's impactful in like a not in a gameplay stance, but like in a like a what's the word I'm looking for? That like a immersion stance, right? Like
yes,
you're
yeah,
immersed in the
yeah.
world, like because other things are happening around you that you like even when you're not there. Like I think that's awesome. But yeah, the LA was added. I'm pretty sure it was the Copper Golem, the LA, and the Glare.
I think I
were the
must have
three
voted. I
options that
definitely
year.
didn't vote for
You would have
Glare.
voted the Copper
It would have
Golem.
been between
There's
Copper
no
Golem
one
and
voted
LA
for
for me,
Glare.
but it definitely wasn't the Glare. I do kind of remember. I remember that era, and I remember actually voting. I just don't remember specifically which one it was, but I'm pretty sure it was the Copper Golem. But anyway, you did.
I think you would have voted that.
Yeah, I feel like it's the logical one to vote for, but people didn't for
100%.
some reason. I guess that's how Trump got in office. So you mentioned that the Mojang said that they would add the mob vote mobs when it made sense. Now, I think the first mob vote selection was like the best like choice we had. Like they were so different, and
100%.
I wish they were
so
all
unique,
added.
so cool. The Flaming Inferno was like my second choice.
That
one
should,
was
first
awesome.
of all, that should have been added with the Nether update, and then they also had that underwater
100%.
one. That should have been added with update
Yeah,
aquatic.
the
The fucking update that the
100%.
Phantom was added in. That would have fit perfectly with update aquatic.
Literally would have added perfect. Yeah.
And the piss cow, the moo bloom, right? I feel like that should have either been added with the cherry blossom biome and it spawned in that, or recently because they've added those little yellow flowers in forest.
Those little
I
yellow
feel like if they
flowers
just
in the birch forest.
I feel like they would fit perfectly with that. As for the other ones,
Yeah.
what the fuck were the other ones? What was the fourth one? Oh, it was that little gecko
It was
thing. In the first one, right?
Gecko.
Yeah, that like stole your enchants or something.
No. That was way later. That was the rascal. That was like in the latest mob vote. The one that I think the one in the fourth one was I can't remember its name, but it was like this little cube
that's the one I'm thinking of.
Entirely a mouth. It was like a bear trap. Like you'd step in it and it would bite you. You know.
I don't know which update that could have been
that
added
was the weakest
in.
one.
If they ever did like a desert, that was the weakest.
A desert
one.
update. Yeah,
that's
that would
the one.
be cool.
That's the one my dad actually voted for.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
didn't it was gonna like allow you to remove enchants from your sword, right? I think that's what the thing was, and
like
I guess that's a good idea. I think that's probably a good feature to add with a mob, but
I mean, they added the anvil though in the end, right? So,
yeah, okay, yeah. But
I feel like it would have the anvil was added. Like, oh no, the grindstone. They added the grindstone.
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
But like, yeah, I think what would be cool, especially when it comes to those like first mobs, it would be cool to make the Flaming Inferno and the Barnacle like similar to the Wither, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Where you get to choose when to have it happen. You know, like the Wither you can create, and it's like another mini boss, right? The Wither you get to choose when and where you do it. The Barnacle, I feel like it should have something to do with like the conduit. Like nobody really uses a conduit that often. I feel like
that thing's forgotten as hell.
And it would be cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have something to do with that, right? And you spawn it. It's like a boss battle, and it has to be in the water. Like that would be cool. Like
that
you
would
have
actually
to prepare
be like
for a water battle. You know,
water. That's a great idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like it would be cool to prepare for a water battle, right? You know, you have to
using tridents would be
cool
cool and shit.
You have to make sure you have a trident. Yeah, like those sorts of things. It makes it so you have to play dynamically and you have to use different things than what you would normally use. And then you know, with the Flaming Inferno, like it, you know, make it so that there's a reason to wear fire protection armor. You know, like you have to have different armor sets and stuff. Like that would be cool.
That would be a
really
good
and it's
idea.
like a boss.
And maybe you can only spawn in the Nether, right?
Yeah, only in the Nether.
You can only set it off in the
like that
Nether.
would be cool.
It requires like it requires maybe Nether. No, well, definitely blaze rods or
blaze
powder.
rods.
I would say maybe netherite just because it's hard to get. Something that's hard to get and create to create life. I think what was I gonna? Do you know the happy guess? Right, I feel like if they didn't cancel the mob votes, I have a feeling the happy guess would have been part of the next mob vote. I feel like that would have been one of the chances.
I think you could be right.
That to me, that screams like potential mob vote candidate. And
I think you could be right. Honestly,
I've not really thought about this too hard, right? But I feel like the Ender Dragon could have done. Like if you could tame the Ender Dragon from the egg. I feel like that could do what the happy guest does.
That could do what the happy guest. That would be pretty overpowered though.
True.
Having a dragon. Maybe one day, or you know, maybe they revisit the red dragon. You know, it's like you purify the egg, and then and then it becomes the red dragon. You know, from millions of years ago.
Do you know? Can't the doesn't the sniffer hatch eggs?
No, the sniffer hatches from an egg.
Right. there's a game called Viva Pinata, right? And you can get a dragon egg in that, and you need to get a chicken to sit on the egg for the dragon to hatch, and depending on which surface you put the dragon on, like if you put it on grass, it becomes a green dragon. If you put it on stone, it becomes a grey dragon.
Oh,
I think that would be really fucking cool if they
that
did
feels
that.
very Minecraft.
Yeah, so you have the dragon egg, and depending where you put it, it becomes a certain color. And I also think, and having like, you need to find like a mob that can hatch the egg. I don't know whether like, don't add them. I feel like the sniffer sits on it or something in it, because that's an ancient. The sniffer's like kind of like made to be like an ancient mob, right? So I feel like they would have existed at the same time. I guess dragons used to. So it would make sense that they kind of have like a bit of a relationship and would be able to hatch the dragon egg, and it would also give a reason to another reason to get the fucking sniffer. So
that is kind of a good point.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. And I think if you got a dragon, it should never get as big as the one in the end. But it would be cool as it would be a small like cool one that you can fly around on. But now they've got the happy gas, and that kind of does that. So I don't know.
With the happy gas, what are your, like, now that it's been around for a little while? Like, obviously we reacted to it when we first saw it. Like, what are your thoughts on it now that it's been around for a little while? And like,
I still hate the look. I still hate the goggles. I still hate that they've done it like in a photo 2x2. I get why they did it. It's because like close up it would look like pixelated, but like, motherfucker, this is like everything does in Minecraft.
Well, I think like their whole thing is like to make it pixel consistent, right? Like, because everything is like, it makes the pixels the same size, whereas like if you put a ghast, but the thing is as well, like in my mind, it's like 1 pixel on the ghast is like 4 of a regular pixel. Like, it doesn't make a difference, right? Like it like doesn't matter what the resolution kind of is. Like you can picture it as a Minecraft resolution. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I just don't like the way it looks. I love the I love what people have used it for, and I do like that it's in the game.
See that one about they made it like a train? I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that one was really cool. Someone made it like
that was the coolest idea.
Is it a merry-go-round in a fucking carnival or circus thing?
Yeah,
that one's really cool with the leads and shit.
That's a cool idea.
That was fucking that's a genius idea.
The lead changes are cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
I played around with it in the snapshot, because it hasn't come out yet at the time of this video. Like I played around in the snapshot, and the way it looks isn't as aggressive as, like, I don't know. It's not as aggressive as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I still agree. Like I really don't like they changed the old ghast to align with this new one, like the texture wise. You know, like I prefer the old texture. And I agree that the saddle like could have maybe been a bit better, but having played with it, it's not as bad as I really kind of first felt it was, and that it was going to be. Like, even the goggles, they aren't too distracting.
They do,
like,
you
know.
I think the goggles
they look silly.
I think the saddle's too fucking easy to make. Is like, I feel like replace the glass with amethyst shards or whatever they're called, like in the goggle recipe. Just something harder to get, because like you use the amethyst shard to make the telescope or whatever, and
the problem with that is, and the problem, this is a problem that a lot of problem that but I actually do think they're conscious of it, and that's why they're making certain changes. I think they're gonna add things that are gonna be interesting. My point is, like, they are, they're making it so that saddles are craftable, right? They're making it so that the ghast saddle is easy to get, right? They're doing that because they want people to use them, right? They want people to use them, and they especially want them to use them early game, right? That's the point. The point is that you get it early game. It's something to do early game so that people aren't rushing to the end game and just getting elytra and things like that. I think that's
the
like
point, because like if you made it too hard, people would have the elytra before they even get it.
It's so easy to get the elytra. I think, now I have no idea, but I maybe it's like me being like, I think this is what they should do, but I think they are going to make it harder to get to the end and get the elytra and do that sort of thing.
I hope so.
And I think that's what they're kind of preparing for. I almost feel like all this foundational work they're doing, they're making it easier to get saddles so that you can ride horses, they're making it so that you can do these things a bit easier, so that it's more enjoyable and more tolerable when they make it harder to get the elytra. You know, I think that's something they've thought. I reckon they've thought about it a lot because the community has complained about it a lot. So I think it's a worthy thing for them to do. So hopefully that's the case, but I guess we'll see.
I definitely get what you're saying.
I am excited to see people talk about to use the happy gas, and like I think there'll be a lot of cases where people will just kind of use it one off and that's it. Go back to the elytra and whatever. Again, that's why I think it's a good idea for them to change that whole meta. But I do think there'll be a lot of creative things that come from the happy ghast, and I think it's one of the more positive additions from like recent time. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I think
overall, I would say.
Other than its lurks, I'm not a fan of the lurk. But yeah, I do like the gameplay changes it adds, and I remember in that video, I'm like, this would make a great elevator. But that was like one of the first thing everyone did. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Now I get what you're saying with like making those things easier to craft, and I actually agree. That makes sense actually. But I do think the saddle. I feel like they're a little too easy with leather. I think if it was me doing the game, I would add bear pelt from polar bears. I'll probably also add grizzly bears in a forest, because could you fucking imagine how cool it would be if you could get dude, and they aren't the friendly ones like the polar bears. They just whoop your fucking ass. They come out the woods, whoa, bang.
They would never do that though. They would never do that because they don't want to encourage people to kill grizzly bears. That's the stupid thing. That's a whole other discussion. But anyway, continue with the thought.
But we can make a lava chicken machine in our movie or whatever. But so I feel like if they added grizzly bears and they spawn in caves but not deep down. They spawn like in surface caves in like forest biomes. I think, and maybe like most of the tree woodland biomes. I think that'd be a really cool addition. And then give them both just bear pelt, and then have a bear pelt be used instead to make the saddles. I think. Maybe
you know how I think they would do that? They would make it so that you have to sneak into the bear cave and
find a chest.
For its pelt. Yeah, you'd have to do that. But I think, like, I on the one hand, I kind of agree. Like, I think that's a fair thing to say. But on the other hand, it's also like that then convolutes the way you get the saddle and defeats the purpose of them making it easier to get. People will then be like, okay, that's too much effort. I can't be bothered doing that. Like, especially when it comes to like, there's plenty of times where you're like in a plains and you see a horse and you're like, oh, I want to ride that horse, and then it's like, gosh, I gotta find a structure. Where you just like, I gotta find a structure to find a saddle. Hope I find a saddle, and then once I do that, it's like all of a sudden I have diamonds and iron, so it's like I don't even really need the horse or whatever like that. Whereas opposed to like if you've got a little bit of iron on you and you've got a bit of leather, like you can just make it and get on the horse. I think it just makes horses so much more accessible, and I think that will early game make them so much more viable, because like right now they're not even used early game. Like they're not even used. Like you have to actively use
randomly
a horse. If you're
found
using a horse. Like if you're using, I don't know. I just in any case, if you're using a horse, you're actively choosing to use a horse, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like if they with these changes, I think if you're using a horse, you're like you had the materials and you're using it to make life easier for you. Rather than you're choosing not to progress and get an elytra, basically. Like
this was a completely random thought. Like I don't know why I thought of this. What if they made it so you could stick an elytra on a pig or a horse and then rocket boost off with it?
That would be okay. That would be that feels like the pigs fly achievement in beta, where you punch a pig off the cliff and it has to die, right? That would be the next level of that. That's like the Minecraft next level. If you could like there's
fly
like
a
some
pig
secret
200
way
blocks.
there's like some secret way you can like equip an elytra on a pig, and then like it even has the texture and everything.
It's
then
like
you
an
sit
Easter
on
egg.
it and like you sit on it, punch it off a cliff, and then it glides. And it's like glide a pig for 200 blocks or something. That would be that's a great idea. That's a W.
We got some good ideas today.
We do have some great ideas. That is an awesome idea. Holy
there was
crap,
something else I was going to
that.
say, but I can't even remember what the fuck it was, because I'm just thinking about pigs gliding.
Pigs gliding. Yeah, that's actually that is a great mental image. I love that.
I think it'd look even dumber if you could put like an elytra on a chicken. It's just giant wings.
That would be silly. That would be silly.
Fuck, I can't remember what I was gonna say. You said, what was you talking about? You said something I wanted to say.
I was talking about how
Saddles.
horses are like, you're not gonna use them early game unless you, like you choose to use them early game now. Whereas
Yeah.
like with these changes, you're going to like, it makes it just a lot more accessible and a lot more likely you're going to use it, right?
Oh shit, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That
Do
was
you
my
think,
point.
because they made saddles craftable, do you think they're gonna make the horse armor craftable? And should they add netherite horse armor?
I think I would prefer that they didn't make horse armor craftable. Like you can already craft leather. I think that's good enough. I think it's fun to you find the different levels of horse armor. I think
They're
that's
like
fine.
the most exciting thing to find in the game because, like, when you damn,
Yeah.
I found a diamond one. Yeah, fuck you. You get a gold
Yeah.
one.
You
Yeah,
get the
something like
gold
that.
one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I do think that's pretty
I
cool.
mean, I think I like that's my feelings is like I prefer they didn't, but I think they probably will at some point. I think they eventually will.
I also had another random idea. I don't know how they could even implement this or how well it would work. But do you know with the leads you can like tie animals together now? Do you know
Yeah.
like in the Arctic people use huskies to like glide across ice and shit?
Yeah.
What if there was a way of controlling where your dogs go and you could like lead them to your boat and they just fucking carry you off? Like
Yeah, it's like a motorboat.
yeah. I love motorboats. Yeah, I don't know how well they could even add that,
that
but
is a good idea.
yeah, I don't know.
I think that is a cool idea. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they would add that, but it is a cool idea.
Yeah.
My first thought. I forgot that they.
Hang on. What if you can throw bones like eggs, and wherever you throw the bone, the dog goes. That's how you do it. I think that might be a good idea.
That is a good idea. I think my first thought when I like saw all those lead changes was, and I kind of forgot you couldn't lead like hostile mobs. My first thought was, what if you like could lead a creeper to a cat? Because you know how creepers run away from the cats. It's like just an infinite like the creepers just running away from the cat forever. But
that's torture. That's evil.
I remembered, exactly, and then I remembered that you couldn't lead creepers. I was like, oh man, that would have been so funny.
Shit, speaking of creepers, another thing I've wanted them to add in the game for fucking ages, right? And I feel like I can't tell if anyone would actually like this idea. I think with creepers, do you know how you can set them on like fire with flint and steel and they blow up? I think creepers should immediately blow up whenever they're set on fire, no matter what, because it will balance out some of the enchants a little, right? Because if you have fire aspect on your sword, I think it should blow up the creeper. I feel like that should just be the case.
I agree. I feel like I agree. I think that's a cool idea, especially if you had like fire aspect and knockback. You hit it and it goes like flying away and then explodes.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool idea.
I think that would be. Yeah. I think creepers should immediately blow up when caught on fire, because how often does a creeper just randomly get caught on fire and blow up? It would also be a way of also kind of making like movable explosive TNT. You could probably make some cool farms with being able to control where the TNT goes and setting it on fire to blow up. I think that could be quite like interesting and change the game a little. But yeah, that's something I've really wanted them to add for fucking ages. Just have the creeper immediately blow up when set on fire. Because it doesn't make too much sense. You can light it and it blows up, but it can burn to death.
It can burn to death. Yeah, exactly. Did you see the new cloud changes that they made in the latest snapshot?
They've got like a creeper face in them, right?
Yeah, there's a creeper face. I
quite like that. I don't know. It's if it was like a rare occurrence, you see it. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, because the way the clouds are, it's like just one big flat like texture.
Right.
And it's just the same thing over and over. So like it's very easily predictable where it is. You can go find it anytime you like, basically. And that's the same with the current, like with the the current one and the, like how it's always been, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't like how uniform the clouds are now. Yes, it's like maybe more realistic, I guess, but I like the randomness and the splotchiness of like the current one.
I need to look at them more, but I would probably agree. Yeah. I know they've made them bigger.
I think you will agree.
I know they made them bigger.
And they've made them bigger and they've made them cover. I would say they've made them cover way more of the sky, and they're just like long streaks rather than like single kind of blotches, which. I don't know. I prefer the blotches, but I don't know. I'm sure there'll be texture packs that change it back.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So-
definitely. I think if they were ever going to do something with the clouds, I would say add an extra cloud, a cloud level, right at the top of world height limit.
Right
so
at the top
so
of
it's
the
kind
world,
of like,
yeah. So it's like a variation in height.
there's a variation in height. I think that would look really nice. Just keep it how it is, but add like an extra level, even like really fucking high up. I think that would look quite cool.
Yeah.
I do love the changes with the
agree.
clouds where you can see them in the distance now. Though that I can't believe it took them so fucking long to do that. That's such a good change.
Yeah, that's crazy that it took them so long to do that. But
yeah.
I agree.
So that's, I don't even, I think that we've gone for like an hour and 50 minutes. I guess that could be it.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're not going to
I
have
think that's
anything
good,
to
yeah.
talk
I
about the
think
next one.
Yeah, we could talk forever. I mean,
really could.
yeah, I think that was yeah, it's good. I'm happy we've had this chat. It's been a good long chat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast, episode 1.
Episode 1.
I wonder if we got cancelled.
If Gerg can get
okay.
cancelled for saying pigger, like literally, that's exactly what he said. He said pigger whilst looking at the new pig. If he can get cancelled for that, I think we're fucked.
Oh man! For those just listening, we traveled 16,000 blocks so far. So
that's not bad. We're nearly there.
I think
Next
it'll be
episode.
cool. I think it'll be cool to say that at the end of every episode. Be like, okay, this is how far this is our progress update, I guess.
So if you're like we would like guests on this. I think if you're like a Minecraft beta YouTuber, or just even a Minecraft YouTuber in general, actually, I think it would be cool if we get pretty much anyone on. My main one I want on is Notch, though. I really want to talk to Notch. I have some questions for him. I want to know like who styles his hair. Stuff like that.
We've got questions that we've brought up in the past.
Yeah, we really like how many hookers.
We've done some math. We've done some maths that we want to know about.
Yeah, we got some questions for you, Notch. How many hookers have you bought? Because we did the math, and it's potentially a lot. So we would like Notch on. I feel like that would get us cancelled because for some reason he's like seen as Hitler now. He doesn't even have the mustache. But that's about it. So we might have guests on in the future. I don't know whoever we can afford really. Who's the cheapest? I don't know. Whammy. That's that's what it is. Thanks for watching, I guess.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Or listening.
Nice.